la famille.
It's pretty cool to be on this side of the stage and pretty impressive too. Thanks guys for coming tonight. So, quick intro about myself. So I'm a marketer turned developer as I self-taught coding while I was studying in a business school. And today I'm a developer evangelist at Mailjet. So my role is to make sure that developers have the best experience when they're using Mailjet, Mailjet API and Mailjet tools. Tonight, I want to share what we learned as a team by shipping our first open source framework, which is called MJML. Quick word about MJML. Who knows MJML? Oh, still some work to do. So MJML is a framework that makes email coding easy because, as you might know, email coding is pretty frustrating. You have a lot of challenges, so many devices, many email clients, and you have pretty old technologies, which is HTML and HTML4 HTML tables who are not up to recent standards. Now I'd like to stand back and take time to think about what we are talking about. So growth hacking, we're talking about attraction. We're talking about getting a lot of users, usually quickly, at a low cost. And then open source, so we are talking about source code that you will open to everyone for free. For free, it means that you can't ask for anything back in return. Then for everyone, it means you can't limit it to a small part of a community, and you can't control who will access to your source code, so it can even be competitors. And then for anything, so it depends on the actual open source licenses, but people can use what you built, they can change it, and they can redistribute it in the way they want. So now you might think, why would I even do it, right? So I'll spend some time building something that I will give away for free and that even anyone can use. Well, open source has huge advantages. So first, you might be able to reach new communities. By new communities, I mean competitors' user bases. So, for example, you have a tweet here of someone crazy about MJML, so he asked a competitor to integrate it, and this is a nice way to get to those users, because those users might be used to using another product, another technology, another company, and it's not easy to get to them point blank, because those companies might have bigger needs, bigger means than you have, and bigger image. So it's a good way to get to those users. Then tech enthusiasts. So for example, we got a lot of feedback and a lot of interest in MJML because it was built in React. So those are people that are not the main target initially, but that will probably get to use to email sometimes. So it's a great way to get to them. And finally, haters. By haters, I mean those people who don't like your company or who don't like your product. You always have those, and it's hard to make them change their mind. So by shipping something innovative, by shipping something free, and by shipping something technically interesting, you can do this. Then you also have those guys who don't like commercial products, who don't like corporate products, and this is a great way to get to them too. Then you'll be able to polish your brand image, your brand reputation with your open source framework. By building a reputation, I mean showing how innovative you are as a company, and by leveling up your game too, because for us with MJML, we could strengthen our position as an email expert, show how innovative we are and show how much we know about the email game. And then hiring. Hiring because you can show how cool the products and the projects you are working on are. And so this is, for example, what we did recently. So MJML was launched 2 months ago, and we already hired someone because they saw MJML, they loved it, and they decided to join us. Now, it can seem complicated to start in open source because you have many resources, many of you are entrepreneurs, but actually you might already have something in your portfolio internally that might fit open source. So first, you have to solve a real problem. As we saw with Leap, they had a real problem, they identified it, and it's the same with email. As I was saying before, you don't have the right toolkit for too many challenges. So we knew the pain because we have been building some stuff already. We had been building a campaign editor to allow people to build responsive email. So we know how hard it is. We go to events, we go to meetups, to conferences, we talk with developers and designers, and we know how a pain developing responsive email is. So we're in a good place to innovate on this. Innovate, so you have to be innovative. So for us with MJML, it's tackling a challenge in a way that it has never been done before. So you have some email, responsive email framework, but they're usually really heavy, they're usually really hard to learn and very not flexible. They're really strict. So this is why we decided to tackle the challenge in a very composable way, in the way that anyone can really do what they want with the framework. Then you have to identify opportunities and use cases like, do I really want to see your code? Like if it's open source and I just use it as is, there's no interest. I need to have some interest in tweaking it, in changing what you built to adapt it to my need. So for example, here people can really customize components that we built. They can really customize the code so it fits their need, so they can use it in the way they want. They can use it with the technologies they want. They can use it in their workflow. And contributions. So you want also to get something back by giving something to the community. So will your code benefit from contributions? Well, this is really an important point, and for us, the great thing is that we're closing the loop with our campaign editor, because MJML is actually now the engine powering our campaign editor, so that people can design responsive email, and so we really benefit from the contributions from the community. Now you also need to make sure that your code is documented. By documented, I don't mean that you have to have the perfect documentation, but I mean that your code must be easy to understand, easy to use, and easy to change, so contributions are easy from anyone in the community. So now, you might have this kind of product. What should you do if you want to start right now, tonight, or tomorrow? Well, building the community starts now. You can't wait to build a community. You can't wait that your product is launched to build a community. And first, you need to identify communities, influencers that might be interested by what you built. So first, you need to define. So personas. Personas are used in user experience and refer to the type of users that will use your product, that will be interested on your product, and that you can group by categories of users. Who do you want to reach? And which are the communities that you can find those people in? For us, it was really about email integrators, about developers, about designers. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of communities. How do you choose the right ones? How do you prioritize? Well, your project has to be, of course, of great interest to them. But you also need to make sure that the community might be inclusive enough, welcoming enough. Some communities are really hard to penetrate, to get accepted in, and you want to be able to make an impact. Now, about impact. What is the impact of these communities that you want to target? You have to make sure that by spending some time with them, by spending some time, some effort, you will be able to get something back. For us, it was really about the email geeks community, so email experts that are really at the top of their game. So also Litmus, which is the email expert about testing, and some relevant subreddits, some meetups too. Now, you have, of course, those crazy platforms. So where one vote is crazy, then when it gets famous. So for us, it worked pretty well. We went listed on GitHub Trending. We went in the weekly newsletter on Product Hunt. We were trending on Hacker News, and we were posting on several subreddits. Those platforms are great for one specific reason, is that if you get trending on one of those, you'll get trending on many of those, because people will tweet about it, people will talk about it, blogs will write about it, and you have many apps that take what's trending on those platforms to push content. So it's really important to target those communities, though it's really dangerous too. Those are like really dangerous playgrounds, and you have to be careful. So way in advance, you don't want to be like running and rushing on the day of the launch to know what you will post, who should post, and stuff. So really plan what, when, and who will post. This is really important because on those communities, you don't want to sound promotional, and it's best to avoid posting yourself. So for us, we identified friends in the community to post for us. So it was like so it was well accepted by those communities. It was really someone pushing great content, sharing something great with the communities, and not us doing some promotional stunt. Then avoid asking for upvotes publicly. Like on Twitter, you might get kicked from some of those platforms if you do so, and if you share direct links. Something else about Reddit. Reddit is a platform on which it's really easy to get some backlash, so be careful about what you say and about the way you say it. Then you want to make some friends. You want to have those friends post for you, talk about the project for you. So we started doing this way back in December for a launch that happened in February. And this is the example of a message that we would send to those guys. So this is an email that was sent to the community manager of Litmus. The guy is a rock star. He's like really famous in the email industry, and it can be hard to approach him. But we didn't decide to go with a promotional approach like, hey, look at this, you should really talk about it or such. No, we really approached him in a naive way, so to learn something from him, to have some feedback. And the guy appreciated that because he was valued as someone that could benefit, someone that could contribute, to the framework. And so this is really important to do at scale. So you need to chat as much and as early as you can. And the best way to do this is to ask for feedback by often showing something like concrete, something that you built, and asking for feedback so people keep up to date. Then what you get is this. So Cameron Moll is a pretty famous designer. He has like 50K followers. Same for Wes Boss. Kevin Mondeville is a product manager at Litmus and La Ferme du Web. Most of you probably know they have 200K followers, and they're French, so it's pretty big. And those guys, they didn't tweet because we approached them to promote it. They tweeted because they were actually beta testers, because we approached them in a naive way to get their feedback and to be able to iterate and to improve our product. They felt committed, they felt involved in the product. Then, of course, figure out what and how you'll act ASAP. So we're talking about data. You have to think from the very beginning what kind of data you want to have. So for us, it's a lot of visits on the website, but shares too, and downloads of the engine. You have to track this data from the very beginning, because if you miss it, you won't be able to measure and compare. This is an example of something that we did. So it's tracking a funnel to a tutorial and a guide on how to use MJML. It's really important to get users onboarded quickly. And more than 50% is a pretty good result, but we saw that there was a huge drop between the first and second step, so that we had to improve the onboard on the very beginning. Something else we did is that we track what people build with MJML, so the kind of templates and who does it, so we're able to contact them and maybe go further in the discussions. Then I said before that you want to be able to benefit from contributions and benefit from what you build and what you're giving from free. So you have to be building the right bridges between your framework, between your free stuff and your main product or your main or your company. A way to do so is not to make your product or your company the only way to use your free project or your free framework, but to make it the best way. So what we did is we are building a desktop app, so you can use MJML on your desktop. And here you can see that people can send the email built in MJML right away from the app if they have a Mailjet account. So it's a great incentive for people to join and try Mailjet too. Then keep the open source real. It's a real commitment. You can't just start with something open source and drop it. No, you have to keep involved. So you have to make sure that you make some release on a regular basis, and you have to make sure that you keep open to what people say. Be transparent. So we created the request for comments tag so that we're not just developing stuff on our side and people can just view what we're building without their word to give to the team. No, we ask for everything, like for feedback for everything we build to make sure that the community is aligned with us. Make contributions easy. It's important that to keep your community involved in the project, it's important to do so. So you might want to document the way you can contribute to your project. This is an example here where we explain how to create a component and we just give the code. So it's really easy for people and they just have to tweak it a bit. And reward contributors. So this is me just offering a MJML Tshirt to a guy I met at an event because the guy is a huge contributor, and for him it's a great way to feel proud, to feel involved, and to feel valued as a contributors, and then to even talk more about the project. It's about taking care of your community. So make sure to listen to them, and your users, your contributors might be talking to you directly, so by the channels you decided, where you have to be active and reactive. But they can also just talk on platforms that where they can just talk to you directly. So Stack Overflow, for example, but also Reddit, Product Hunt, where you posted initially. So make sure to go back on those on a recent basis. And a great tool for this is Mention that enable you to have notifications as soon as someone talks about a specific subject. So you can track for us, for example, MJML, but also any subject around responsive email. And it's a two-way conversations. Talk to them and give them some news on a regular basis. You want to keep them updated of what happens. The best way to do so is to create some content and to post it on various channels and to reuse it in various ways. So this can be about a newsletter. This can be also about a blog post. This can be on your company blog, but also on Medium, on the project blog, on very different channels. So make sure to make the most of the content you create. And now that you spend some time doing so, what do you get? Well, you will be able to grow market shares because you can get some startup love. So this is a crazy story we got. It's really exciting for us. We are discussing now with Product Hunt because they saw our MJML buzzed, they saw our MJML was effective, and they saw the community we succeeded in building, and it's all what Product Hunt is about. So it's a great story, it's a great success for us that we got from a free product and from an open source framework. Sales deal, well, we are talking about money too, right? So this is Zazzle, it's a huge e-commerce platform, and it's the same. They decided to shortlist us because they saw that we are really experts in the game and that we were really serious players to talk with, was before they might not have even noticed us. Then, partnerships deal. You can show that your company has some great product to offer on the technological scale. So Boomtrain is a huge machine intelligence platform, and they decided to integrate MJML in their company to generate the responsive email. You'll also be able to grow your product. So I mentioned it before, but MJML is the engine behind our campaign editor, which is called Passport. So when people drag and drop blocks and create a responsive email from an interface, it's all rendered by MJML. So when people contribute to MJML, they also contribute to our own main product campaign, our own campaign editor. You'll be able to also build a great company culture. So because you show that you're tech and dev focused and you have really a lot to bring to the community, but also because internally it's super interesting to gather your team and for the team, because you really feel proud and you really feel involved in what you're building, as it's open source and it's really giving something back to the community. Now you can get in touch with us, so make sure to follow us on Twitter. On Product Hunt, we are missing only 30,000 upvotes to make it 1,000. So if you could all upvote now so we can get to 1,000, would be awesome. Make sure to subscribe on the website too, so you keep updated with what we build, and you can get in touch with us. Now I have some gifts for you. So if you're not part of the family, just use the MJML Rocks the Fam code. You'll get the opportunity to send 120,000 emails for free. And if you're part of the family, we have an even crazy better deal for you. So just send us an email. Thanks. You have questions?
Hi, I'm Eric from Data.io. I have a question for you. You said you came from a marketing background, and I always thought you were from a developer community. So how did you do that, and how did you feel the exercise of getting into your hands dirty with code?
So how did I do it? Well, I started with hackathons between 2012 and 2013. It was fun, but I was kind of frustrated not to being to build stuff myself and just saying it. So I just started learning myself on a lot of platforms such as Codecademy, Code School, Open Classrooms, and then just playing with stuff.
That's cool, because I think you need both to be pertinent in the developer community, and at some stage you need to be able to show that you've practiced it. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Que la famille.